makers out there. I don't know about you, but it's pretty rubbish being stuck at home at the moment, isn't it? Normally, I'd be teaching art to wonderful kiddies just like you. My goodness, I really do miss it at the moment. So, I thought, why not bring my crafty kids projects to you at home? Cool, hey? But I hear you thinking, and guess what? No art supplies? No worries, I got you covered. Head over to my blog for tips on how to make your very own art materials. How cool is that, hey? Every week, I'll bring you a new themed crafty project, plus loads of other cool how-tos on my blog page. So, what theme do we think it's going to be this week?
Peace, it's Earth Week, Earthlings. Did you know that in the UK, on average, a person throws away their whole body weight in rubbish every 7 weeks? That's terrible, hey? Huh? So who remembered it was Earth Day on Wednesday? We did! It's a fantastic awareness day. It's all about celebrating our beautiful and very, very precious planet. And we all need to do our bit together to make sure that we keep our amazing Earth happy and healthy, just like you.
So did you do anything to celebrate Earth Day this week? Well, we were incredibly busy, as usual. As the sun popped out to say hello, we got busy in the garden. But we didn't do any gardening. No, silly. We got crafty in the garden, of course. We made fruity feeders for the birds, full of seeds to keep them going. And we also had a lot of fun bashing botanicals. Botanicals are just flowers. So we found some beautiful spring flowers, and although I do not recommend normally bashing flowers, for this it was a really nice thing to do to preserve their beauty in a piece of art. So just taking a couple of flowers because our bees and insects need them, we decided to create these beautiful botanical prints. So you can see this one was from a purple clematis. How pretty is that? If you want to do something similar, head over to my blog with full instructions on what you need to do. So what are we going to do this week though for Made by Mini Makes? Well, we wanted to capture our hopes and dreams for a greener, more sustainable and eco-conscious planet for all of our futures. So we decided to end the week by making Whimsical Woodland Dreamcatchers. Inspired by nature, with a few curious, quirky, creative additions of your choice and just for fun. Of course, because it wouldn't be complete without a bit of creative flair, would it? Well, you're going to create one of these amazing dream catchers today.
So, Earthlings, it's no time to hang around. Let's get crafty. The first thing you need for your dream catcher are some brown dry leaves. Don't get the green ones because they're a bit floppy, so they'll be quite hard to paint. Paint one side of your leaf whatever colour you like. then simply leave it to dry. Once your leaf is dry, you can turn it over and do the other side. I chose to do it a different colour, but you can do it the same as the other side. Whatever you like. If you've chosen to do 3 leaves like me, do all 3 leaves now at this stage. Then again, simply leave it to dry. Once your leaf is dry on both sides, you can now add a pretty pattern. I used some white paint, but you can use whatever colour you like. I created a pattern that I liked. But again, you can choose any pattern you like. It might be good to have a look at patterns around you and copy one of those. Once you've finished the pattern on one leaf, simply do the same pattern or a different pattern on the other leaves. So I found this feather in my garden and I decided, as pretty as it looks, I'd like to colour it in a bit. So I decided to use 2 different colours of paint. I was going to do some white spots on it as well, but then I thought it looked so pretty just with the 2 colours. But you can add spots or stripes or zigzags or anything you like to your feather as well. Once you're happy with it, simply leave it to the side to dry. To make the circular frame of our Dreamcatcher, we simply need a twig from a tree. You want one around about 20 centimetres long, but don't worry if you can't find one that long. Pick off all of the green leaves off the twig. Once you've done that, gently start to bend the twig into a circular shape. You need to do it very carefully so you don't break the twig. You may need someone to help you with the next bit. With a bit of tape, preferably masking tape, but you could use sellotape if you don't have masking tape, or even parcel tape. Just secure one end of the twig. Then, with another piece of tape, secure the other loose end. Use your hands again to very carefully try and make the shape into a circular shape. Now, you could leave it as it is, but I chose to cover up the masking tape because I didn't want to see it. Taking a piece of raffia, or you could use anything you like. You could use wool or string or garden twine, or even some nice coloured tape like washi tape. Anything you like. But if you're not doing this, simply skip this stage. Secure one end of your tape or your string to the frame, and then just wrap it around. Keep going until you run out of string or tape. When you get to the end, simply tie it onto the frame to secure it in place. Now it's time to make the web on our Dreamcatcher frame. Simply cut 2 meters of string. I suggest making the rest of the string into a little ball so you can hold the ball as you thread. Tie one end of the string onto your frame. We're going to make a pentagon shape, a 5-sided shape. So holding the frame in one hand and the string in your other hand, pull the string away from you and over the top of the frame, and then loop the string through the gap and pull it tight. Using your thumb, hold it in place. Adjust its position if you need to. Turn the frame gently in your hand. Then again, pulling the string away from you, we're going to create the same shape again, going over or under the frame and through the loop that you've created with the string. Keep going and repeat all the way round until you get 5 sides. The next thing we're going to do is create a star shape inside our pentagon shape. Simply pull the string to the opposite corner and again thread the string through the gap. Repeat again to the next opposite corner. and push the string through the gap. Keep going until you run out of corners. I suggest doing this really slowly so you can start to see your star shape emerging and see if you've gone wrong anywhere. Once you get to the end, simply tie your string to secure it in place. Cut off any excess, and hey presto! We have a star within a pentagon. Now we're going to make the frame look pretty by adding some ivy. The reason why we've used ivy is because it's really bendy, so it's really easy to thread around the frame. Taking one end of the ivy, preferably the thicker end, thread it under some of the string that you used for your web. With a bit of string, or you could use tape if you're going to find string too tricky. Tie the ivy in place. You might have to tie it quite tightly so it doesn't wriggle out. Then use the long end of the string to wrap it around a few times, just to make sure it's not going anywhere. Then tie another knot just to stop the string unravelling. With your scissors, cut off any excess. Now holding your frame in one hand and the ivy in another, and again, if you need someone to help you, perhaps someone could hold the frame while you do the threading. You're going to wind the ivy around the frame, a bit like weaving, where you go in and out, or up and down, up and down. Go all the way around the frame until you cover it. Now, as you can see, my piece of ivy wasn't quite long enough. So, using another small bit of ivy, I simply added it in and repeated the same instruction from the beginning. Tie it in place with some string or some sticky tape. Then, once again, either wind your ivy around the frame or just simply cover the front of the frame and secure it in place. Adjust the ivy around the frame so that hopefully it hides as much of the string or sticky tape as possible. And there you go, you have your ivy wrapped dream catcher. Taking our pretty painted leaves and feather, we're now going to thread some string onto them. You want to cut different lengths of string because you don't want your leaves all to be at the same level. So here you can see I've got some long bits and some short bits. I chose a nice blue yarn, but you could use anything you like. Again, if you've only got string, you could use string. Taking one of the pieces of string, tie one end of the string onto the stalk of the leaf. You may have to tie it a couple of times to make sure it's secure. Repeat again with all the other leaves and the feather. Once they're all tied, the next thing we're going to do is attach them to our Dreamcatcher. Before we attach them, you need to decide what order you want them to appear in. Now let's add them to the Dreamcatcher frame. Taking your first leaf, secure the other end of the string to the Dreamcatcher on the far left-hand side. Do the same for the one on the far right-hand side. Then add the ones in the middle. That way you can space them out enough to add on any other bits that you like at the end. Once they're all secured in place, you can add whatever you like. Ribbons, beads, anything you like. And there you have it, your Whimsical Woodland Dreamcatcher. Enjoy!